Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever noticed how a single, simple word, one that should feel light, sweet, and playful, can suddenly open something far deeper than what appears on the surface? One term, one reaction, one laugh that sounds exaggerated, yet feels far too honest to ignore. Today, we're talking about a small word with a surprisingly big echo, Annammi. In Korea, Annammi is a modern compliment, clear, uncomplicated, and almost always positive. It refers to someone who remains captivating without makeup, without heavy styling, without effort. A kind of natural beauty that doesn't try to impress, yet can't be overlooked. A bare face, unstyled hair, a relaxed expression, still undeniably attractive. As a term, Annammi should end there. Finished. But when that word was directed at Jimin and Jungkook, everything changed. Instead of receiving it as a simple visual compliment, Jungkook reacted with visible embarrassment, awkward laughter, exaggerated expressions, and a response that seemed to drift far away from the word's literal meaning. A reaction that, when examined closely, revealed far more than he may have intended. Was it just a misunderstanding? Or was it an honest reflection of Jungkook's awareness of how the world sees them? Let's break it down. The moment itself began innocently enough, a modern wordplay, a light neologism familiar to today's Korean generation. A term meant to loosen the atmosphere, spark a laugh, and move on. Nothing heavy, nothing complicated, just a trending word, Annammi. The staff didn't leave its meaning vague. They made it very clear. This is what people think about the two of you. Not philosophy, not personal feelings, not metaphor. This was about public perception, how people see Jimin and Jungkook when concepts fall away, when filters disappear, when they're simply being themselves. But Jungkook has never been someone who responds only on the surface. Instead of following the expected path, he veered off, straight into something far more personal. When he replied with "namsa round," that's embarrassing, it wasn't a vocabulary mistake. It wasn't confusion. It was an emotional reaction. Spontaneous, instinctive, and unmistakably Jungkook. That familiar blend of laughter and avoidance, as if something had hit too close to home. For him, Annammi didn't stop at being a visual compliment. What he felt was something sweeter, brighter, and far more revealing than he was ready to address. Something too cheesy, too obvious, too close to the truth. His exaggerated laughter and dramatic tone didn't deny the word, they confirmed it. When he added that he could go crazy, it wasn't rejection. It wasn't a claim that the description was wrong. If anything, the implication was the opposite. Once again, they're pointing at something everyone already sees, something that's been highlighted too often, too openly, and is too embarrassing to confront seriously. That's where the moment shifted. Jungkook didn't stray because he misunderstood. He strayed because he understood too well. When the staff said, "What people think about the two of you," his mind didn't go to bare faces or natural visuals. It went to years of glances, whispers, comments, and interpretations toward the persistent narrative surrounding him and Jimin. That's why his reaction was exaggerated, half-joking, almost theatrical. And unconsciously, he pulled Jimin into it. He didn't say "me." He said "we." Because in his mind, public perception has never separated them. The staff may have intended something shallow and sweet, two people who look good without makeup. But Jungkook read between the lines. He read the story the public has been writing for years, about chemistry that never fades, closeness that refuses to go unnoticed. He delivered it with humor, but also with striking honesty. He knows how they're seen. He knows that, for many people, they're not just two members who get along well. They're seen as two people who constantly blur boundaries, who seek each other out, who touch naturally, who look at each other as if the rest of the world momentarily disappears. And what's most interesting is this awareness doesn't make Jungkook retreat. He knows people call them too affectionate, too comfortable, too close to fit neatly into labels like just Hyung and Dongsing. And yet, he doesn't change. He doesn't correct himself. He doesn't create distance. He laughs. He gets embarrassed. And then he continues exactly as before. That's where the contradiction and the honesty focus. He's embarrassed by the attention, but he's not embarrassed by the behavior. The Annammi moment becomes meaningful because of that contrast. While the staff framed it as a light compliment, Jungkook revealed something deeper, a clear awareness that their dynamic invites interpretation, that their chemistry is read as something beyond ordinary, that it's embarrassing, cheesy, even ridiculous, yet impossible to deny. And Jimin, as always, is quietly included. Jungkook never excludes him. Even in embarrassment, there is always we. That alone speaks volumes. Seen within a larger pattern, this moment isn't isolated. It's part of a long series of interactions that never feel accidental. This isn't collective imagination. It's the result of repeated observation. The way they move, the way they look for each other, the way they understand one another without words. They know which gestures draw attention. They know which boundaries are usually respected. And yet, their connection resists safe explanations. There's no exact replica of this bond. No other relationship expressed with this level of consistency, comfort, and ease. The way they close distance. The way they touch without thinking. The way they enter each other's personal space as if it's the safest place in the world. This intimacy is specific, personal, exclusive. That's why many don't read it as neutral. Physical affection may exist in culture, but there are always limits. Constantly seeking each other out, leaning in close, touching as if the other's presence is instinctive, these aren't accidents. And they know it. That awareness surfaced instantly when Jungkook heard what people think about the two of you. It wasn't embarrassing because it was wrong, but because it was too accurate. Jimin didn't need to say anything. His presence was already included. They know they're watched. They know they're interpreted. And still, they don't pull away. They don't dilute that closeness. They continue together until someone reminds them the world is watching. And even then, they don't stop. Because in the end, this moment was never just about one word. Not about definitions. Not about visuals. It was about awareness. Jungkook's awareness that what he and Jimin share has never been read as ordinary. And even as he laughs, even as he looks embarrassed, one thing never changes. He always says we. Embarrassed by the attention, but never embarrassed to be himself. If this moment felt like more than just lighthearted joking to you, if you see the same patterns and honesty, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let us know in the comments. What do you think truly made Jungkook feel too embarrassed in that moment? See you in the next Jikook Moments.